Sign number 1 shows up in the smallest possible moment, and it's the reason you check price tags before you even like the product. You walk into a store, you see something you actually want, and before your brain even processes whether you like it, your eyes jump straight to the number. That's not being careful with money. That's your nervous system treating a $200 jacket like a $200 threat. And here's the part that messes with people. This happens even to folks pulling in 6 figures. Income has almost nothing to do with it. There's a reason lottery winners go broke within 5 years at a rate that would shock you. Roughly 70% of them end up back where they started financially, sometimes worse. That's not bad luck. That's a scarcity brain running the show no matter how much money flows through it. So if your first reaction to anything, a meal, a gift, a vacation, is the cost before the experience, that's your brain still living in a version of reality that doesn't exist anymore. Sign number 2 is sneakier because it looks like a personality trait instead of a wound. You save everything, not just money, everything. Plastic containers, old chargers, clothes that don't fit anymore, leftover packets of sauce from 3 takeout orders ago. On the surface, it looks responsible, maybe even eco-friendly. But underneath, there's a quiet belief running in the background that says if I let this go, I might not get another one. That's not minimalism's opposite. That's fear wearing a costume of practicality. People who grew up with plenty can develop this too, sometimes from a single stretch of instability. A parent who lost a job for 6 months, a move that felt sudden, a year where things just felt shaky, even if nobody said the word broke out loud. The body remembers that feeling longer than the mind does. Sign number 3 is the one that ruins relationships without anyone noticing why. You struggle to feel happy for other people's wins, not because you're a bad person, but because somewhere in your wiring, other people's success feels like it's subtracting from your own supply. Your friend gets promoted, and there's this half-second delay before you can genuinely celebrate. That tiny gap where your stomach drops first and your smile comes second. That gap is the tell. Abundance-minded people feel expansion when others win. Scarcity-minded people feel a flinch, even if they immediately cover it with a genuine-sounding congratulations. The flinch is the truth. The congratulations is the mask. Now here's where it gets interesting, because sign number 4 flips the whole thing inside out. You overwork, not because you love your job, but because rest feels dangerous. Somewhere along the way, slowing down got wired to your brain as the moment right before everything falls apart. So you keep moving, keep producing, keep saying yes to one more project, one more shift, one more favor, because stopping feels like inviting collapse. This is why so many successful-looking people, the ones with the promotions and the nice apartment and the packed calendar, are secretly running on fumes and calling it ambition. It's not ambition. It's a body that never got the memo that the emergency ended. Sign number 5 hides in your phone, specifically in how you handle money conversations. You either avoid checking your bank account for days at a time because looking at it feels like bad news waiting to happen, or you check it obsessively, multiple times a day, like it might have secretly changed since the last time you looked 10 minutes ago. Both behaviors come from the exact same root. Money doesn't feel neutral to you. It feels like a scoreboard for whether you're safe today or not. People with a genuinely settled relationship with money check it, register the number, and move on with their day. If your chest tightens, either from looking or from avoiding, that tightness is scarcity mindset talking, not your actual financial situation. Sign number 6 is the one people mistake for being generous when it's actually the opposite pattern showing up sideways. You give too much, too fast, to people who haven't earned that level of investment yet. You overextend yourself for coworkers, friends, even strangers, because some part of you believes that if you're useful enough, valuable enough, giving enough, you'll secure your place. This isn't generosity flowing from abundance. This is a transaction dressed up as kindness, where the unspoken deal is, I give so I don't get left behind. People raised with genuine security can still develop this if they learned early that love or belonging had to be earned through usefulness. The tell is simple. If you feel resentful afterward, it wasn't generosity. It was a down payment on safety. Here's something that'll reframe how you see every argument about spending money you've ever had. Sign number 7 is decision paralysis around anything that costs money, even small amounts. Not because you can't afford it, but because every purchase feels like it's competing against some invisible future emergency that hasn't happened yet. You'll stand in front of a $14 lunch option debating for a full minute, not because $14 will break you, but because some part of your brain is running a worst-case simulation where this exact $14 was needed for something catastrophic that never actually arrives. This is exhausting in a way most people never say out loud. Because from the outside, it looks like indecision or being cheap, but internally, it's a constant low-grade emergency broadcast that never turns off. And sign number 8 might be the most revealing one of all, because it shows up in how you talk about opportunities you didn't take. You default to no, not because the opportunity was bad, but because saying yes means risking that this could be the one time it doesn't work out. And scarcity mindset treats that risk like it's unaffordable, even when it clearly is affordable. So you turn down the trip, the career move, the investment in yourself. Not from logic, but from a background hum that says, hold on to what you have because more might not come. This is the sign that costs people the most over a lifetime because it's invisible. Nobody sees the version of you that said no to the thing that could have changed everything. They only see the version that stayed exactly where they were, calling it being responsible. What makes all 8 of these signs so hard to catch is that none of them announce themselves as fear. They dress up as practicality, responsibility, humility, even kindness. Nobody thinks, I am terrified of not having enough. They think I am just being smart with money, or I am just a private person, or I just work hard, that's all. The costume is the whole reason this thing survives so long undetected in people who, by every external measure, grew up totally fine. Scarcity mindset doesn't need actual scarcity to take root. It just needs one moment, one stretch, one memory where the body learned that resources, love, security, or opportunity could disappear without warning. After that, the brain builds permanent infrastructure around protecting against a threat that may never return. And here's the twist that most people never sit with long enough to actually absorb. The opposite of scarcity mindset isn't having more money. Plenty of broke people feel completely at ease with what little they have, and plenty of wealthy people white-knuckle every dollar like it's their last. The opposite of scarcity mindset is trust. Trust that you can handle what comes. Trust that one no doesn't erase every future yes. Trust that giving doesn't automatically mean losing. That kind of trust doesn't get built by earning more. It gets built by proving to yourself. In small, repeated moments that letting go doesn't actually end you. You didn't choose to build this wiring, but you're the only one who can slowly take it apart, one moment at a time, by noticing the flinch before the smile, the price tag before the joy, the no before you even considered the yes. If any of this hit close to home, you can keep this channel running by buying me a coffee through the link in the description. It genuinely helps more than you'd think.